Hello everyone and welcome to Blogger Everything and welcome back to the channel and welcome to a match review for what was kind of a disappointing result from Barcelona. Yes, I'm going to say result this time, not necessarily performance, because I would say that, I hate to be cliche, but it was very much a game of two halves and a half in particular of two halves. And that half being the second half, in which Barcelona did start that second half just about as well as they did the first, with lots of chances. Should have scored at least 2 goals in this game, guys. I don't know how that did not happen, but once again, because that did not happen, Barcelona find themselves in a situation where this tie is very much still alive when it could have and should have probably been dead and buried. So, it's more of the same, really. The same story for Barcelona's season, where they toil and they labor so hard just to get the one goal. And after they do that, they kind of just piss all of that away and give up a cheap goal like we saw them do here once again. Now, obviously, when the margin of error is that slender, Napoli only had 2 shots on target during this game, okay? 2 shots on target and they scored with 1. When the margins are that narrow, it generally means that when the error is made that leads to you conceding a goal, there's going to be a bit of a, stereoscopic zoom kind of lens that's going to be used to comb through what happened and to, for the forensics of who exactly was at fault. Because obviously there's going to be a blame game, and this time around, once again, because of just how thin the margin is, we're going to have to point the finger at somebody who I thought had probably the best game for Barcelona here. Yeah, Barca's best player on the day, who happened to have been Ilkay Gundogan. And it feels really kind of dirty to blame him here, because for starters, he kind of got tired during that second half. You could see it, and it showed particularly in the lead up to that Napoli goal, because Barca were trying to, build up down that right-hand channel, with Gundogan and Lamine, who are really starting to strike up a tantalizing understanding, okay, between the two of them. And, well, Gundogan lost the ball, but he could have pressed. That's what I was just thinking from the moment that he lost that ball. Gundogan, just chase back in there, just give them some pressure. He didn't do that, of course. He just started strolling, and because of that, Napoli ended up with an extra man in that central space because, De Jong and Christensen, there are only 2 of them. They can only mark 2 guys. So the third guy, not meant to be Zambo Anguissa, is the guy who found the pass into Victor Osimhen, of course, for the equalizer. We're not going to talk too much here about Inigo Martinez, who also probably gets some of the blame here. I don't know what he was trying to do there. A defender of his experience, I don't expect to be seeing that from him there. I expect that kind of an error from, a Pau Kubarsi, but not from somebody like Inigo Martinez, who's been playing at the highest level for well over a decade now, so experienced he is. You don't expect him to be making that kind of an error. Anywho, moving on from the blame game here, like I had said, Barcelona did have a very good performance, particularly in that first half, I thought, where they limited Napoli to absolutely no shot on target. And, to do that away from home, that's not the easiest thing to do. Okay, and majority of those, 12 or 13 shots that Barcelona took in this game, majority of them came during that first half, and somehow Barcelona just couldn't find a way past Alex Meret, who, we have to give him his dues here. Probably if there was going to be a man of the match in this game, it would have to be him because of all the saves that he made, really. He kept Napoli in this game, kept them alive, and had he not made even just 2 of those saves, this ends 3-1 in favor of Barca, because, Lamine and Lewandowski as well had some pretty good chances that could have easily been goals. And of course, Barca still had that late chance, Gundogan, which honestly speaking, I thought it went in. And it's really the worst feeling when you think you scored a goal but you haven't. And anywho, that's just is what it is. It's pretty late here though, where I'm watching from. We're already past midnight. I don't really want to talk for much longer than I have right now. I will, of course, just, maybe try to look forward a bit to that second leg. it was a surprisingly, immature way, the way in which Barcelona gave up the lead, which for me I find quite baffling because right now, to be honest, we're seeing a lot of amateur errors from Barcelona as a whole this season, and we should be seeing less because this season Barca's average starting 11 has actually been older than it was last year, okay? Because last year you had Balde in there, you had Pedri in there, you had Gavi in there, there were so many young starters in there. You had Pedri as well, right? This season, Gavi isn't here. He's been replaced effectively by, Gundogan or Christensen or Romeo, whoever one of the three. And of course, Balde as well isn't here. He's been replaced by Cancelo. So when you look at this team Barcelona had, with the exception of De Jong, Araujo, Pedri, and I think Kunde, everybody else has won this Champions League before. Everybody else has the experience of a Champions League campaign that, they went on to win. But they just gave the ball up way too easily and they just ceded control of the game as well way too easily, something that Barcelona keeps on doing. They always have those spells during which they're not in control of the game, and the problem is that this season when they have those spells they are conceding, without a doubt it's happening. It's a shame and you hope that it can improve probably going into next season. We'll see what comes, but otherwise I think this is just about everything that I wanted to talk about. Let me know your thoughts, guys, on the performance. It's good to see that Lewandowski is back to scoring. Hopefully he can keep this form going, and hopefully Barcelona can find their shooting boots for that second leg, because I think honestly 3 goals can be enough to see Barcelona go through here. Yes, I say 3 because I don't put it past them to concede 2. Anyway, I thank you all for tuning in. Do have a great day, and Forza Barça.